Hi, my name is Valentina Silva. I study science policy, and today I'm here in the downtown of the city because I want to tell you some details about la Toma del Palacio de Justicia. I choose this topic because I think that it's so important to understand all of the events that are quite important to us, to our political history, and to understand why we don't need to forget about this event. So I think that many times when we come in here or when we listen about the Justice Palace, we don't understand the importance that this place has to our history and that we don't need to forget about all of the things that happen in here. I think that it's important to tell what happened and try to understand why our governments manage a lot of process with other insurgent groups and why it's important not to forget this part of our political history. So first I'm going to tell the details. I'm not going to tell the history itself of the La Toma del Palacio. The first point is that Álvaro Fayad was the person that managed all the plan of La Toma del Palacio de Justicia. It took to him 6 months to plan everything, and during those 6 months, a lot of things happened with the armed forces. They captured a lot of militants of the insurgent group, and they got into a house and they found a lot of videos of the plans that they were doing for the Toma del Palacio. The second one is that La Comisión de la Verdad, that is an entity that their principal work is to find the truth of those events and what happened, to know the truth for the victims and everything. They said that during those 6 months and in October, they found out that a lot of militants of the insurgent group, they call La Sijín, and some members of the armed force, and they told them that they were going to make the military strategy, and they were going to get into the Justice Palace. And the importance of that is that they knew that they were going to make that and the armed force, and nobody did nothing. So they only set up that apart and they forgot about that. The third one is that in La Casa del Florero, that is the one that is in there. Many times we come in here and we forget about this one, and we think that we are just that this is like something just representative of our history, but this house has a bad past, and in there happen a lot of things. So what happened in that house is that many people were taken away from the Justice Palace and they went in there. And the thing that happened in there is that many people were captured, disappeared, and tortured. And there are two emblematic cases in that house, and that is Yolanda Santo Domingo and Eduardo Monzon. They were law students of the External University. They were presented and examined the Justice Palace, and the armed force took them, and they were in La Casa del Florero. And what they tell at the end of this event, when they are again with their families, is that they were tortured. The armed force did everything to him. And also other event that is important to know that happened in there is that 11 workers of the cafeteria of the Justice Palace were taken first in there, and then they were disappeared, and no one knows where they are right now. The other point is that what happened, they start to find a lot of bodies, and they try to give to their families their bones, and 30 years later or 10, they are start to find out that those weren't the bodies or of their families. So a lot of people were taking their identities, and that was such a bad thing for their families to open again all this process of knowing this is not my dad or my son, but I bury them if there was, but he wasn't, because someone took their real bones. And the last one that I think that is the most important of the seven is that the president of the Congress, Alfonso Echandía, uh, I think that everybody has listened to the radio station where he called saying that he needs to talk with the president, that a lot of things are happening here and that they need help, and that the insurgents are like trying to talk with the president to just finish what is happening, but the president never appears. He doesn't attend the call of Echandía. And finally what happened is that in La Retoma and the plan Tricolor, the armed force get into the palace with the tanks, and they burn all of the palace. So it was like terrible because a lot of people of the Congress died in there and a lot of insurgents. Um, so it's quite bad because they tried to make like the peace to stop like that killing that was happening, the disappearance and everything, and nobody listened to them. And he wasn't a militant or a person that was inside of the insurgent group. He was just a person that was making his work, and that was so important to the Congress. So I hope that you understand everything, that you like the topic. I think that it's so important to understand our history, knowing that this is not something that we need to forget. There are a lot of victims that doesn't know where is their families, that they are now burying again their parents, their sons, because someone took their bones, and they need to open again this pain of knowing that someone killed the family. So I invite everyone that is listening to not forget about this and to understand the importance for our country. Thank you. Bye.